Also, this isn't an investment. Take care of a business. This is what people have saved their whole lives for and their hopes and dreams for the future. We've never seen anything like this before. People were crying when CZ was on Snash, which shows how people in that group become like cult heroes. Okay, this movement is a lot bigger than most people think. Regular people who work in the financial markets don't get this, but it's a much bigger deal because people have been given an asset. That goes up 150% a year with 3 or 4 drawdowns of 70 to 80%. Still, it makes life different for everyone. Today, we're going to look at a recent interview with Raoul Pal in which he talks about Bitcoin, XRP, and other cryptocurrencies, what makes them so special, and why he thinks they're ready to take over the whole financial system right now. He's going to talk about a lot of different things that we haven't talked about before, which made me think of all the things that could happen. I'm also really excited to tell you guys about this because I think it really talks about a lot of things that most of you haven't really thought about before. Let's hit that like button, subscribe, and like. Now that everyone has seen the film, let's hear what Raoul Pal has to say. The exponential age. Every single one of these technologies is being used more and more quickly and widely. This is true for AI, crypto, EVs, robots, space, and more. All of them are on a log return. If you look at the price charts, you can see the exponential. That's the game we're playing. You can think of Amazon stock as an example. In the early 2000s, stock, it fell 97%, then went up 600%, and then fell 50% again. They change quickly. Yes, that means they are risky assets. You will get huge returns, though, if you can hold on to them. This is why Jeff Bezos is almost the richest person in the world. It's all the same, you know? That's the big trend. That's how old things are getting. The business cycle and the cash cycle are what make this happen. You need to know where you are in that loop. That cycle is, let's say, led by flows of cash. And just recently, a strong dollar and higher rates in Q4 2020 made it harder for people to borrow money. That leads to assets in 12 weeks. So assets dropped because of a lack of liquidity at the time. However, liquidity has been going the other way lately and is now easing up a lot. That means the price should go up or down, but there's a lot of volatility. What most people don't understand is that anything above 20% is a bear market in the S&P. 20% is a breeze in crypto because a 70 vol asset is very unpredictable compared to a 15 vol asset. It's much more unstable because of this. So the idea is that you need to know how to deal with the unpredictability. This is what we call the banana zone. What is that? That's when the cycle speeds up and prices start to rise very quickly. It's normally near the end of the business cycle. Like that, we made that kind of zone. We had a great fourth quarter last year. We had a time to fix things, and now we're going to sugar up for the rest of the year. In a way, that makes it hard to even buy, since there are a few sharp drops along the way that you only need to check every year. Ralph Hall doesn't talk about that a lot. It's the real business cycle that affects the crypto cycle, right? In other words, what he's saying is that there are liquidity swings in places other than Bitcoin and altcoins. In the real world, we see that different industries like real estate, the stock market, and certain industries like technology, manufacturing stocks, and so on, go through cycles of liquidity. So basically, people are putting a lot of money into things like gold, oil, and even Bitcoin when things are not sure at all. People put a lot of money into technology and new ideas when the economy is doing really well. Yes? As a result, the value of crypto assets is affected by many different cycles. This is because crypto is uniquely placed in many different businesses. First, it's a form of money that many people keep as a backup. Second, it's a new piece of technology. That's 2 different points right there. And finally, as for number 3, it's also something that people want to keep adding to by making new apps because of all the things going on in the crypto space. It is in a very special place, and I think it's something that will be strong no matter what, even when the economy is bad. And yes, it will definitely go through huge ups and downs, But as Raoul Pal said, there's a lot more money to be made along the way if you take advantage of this extreme instability. Also, that's what he really wants to do. That's exactly what my group, Crypto Crusaders, does. That's something I've been very good at doing during both bear markets and bull markets. I've been making a lot because I know how these markets work and how the different liquidity flows work. To deepen your knowledge and your ability to take advantage of these different cycles when they do happen, I think it's important that you guys understand it. So I want to ask you to join the Crypto Crusaders by clicking on the link below. I'll talk more about that later. Now, let's hear what else Raoul Pal has to say, because he has more great things to say, proven that we are in this exponential trend that changes with the business cycle. That's how long the cycle lasts. It's 4 years long. This is the last year of that cycle, which is usually one of the best times of the whole thing. During that time, it will be very unstable. Then it's my job to tell people, okay, if you've been given the greatest forming asset of all time, then you don't want to mess it up. Yes, it's also hard because most people aren't used to changes in price. It turns into a feeling. Beating yourself up won't help you with this. You'll have to do bad things because of it. That's why I try to tell people, first, don't use leverage. On Twitter, you can see someone who has added 100 more turns and done a perps and done it. It always looks good. It seems like it will never happen. You will lose your money because the first rule is to keep your tokens close at all times, because you really want to be Jeff Bezos and hold it from here. Okay, he also didn't lose control of his savings. You keep your coupons at all times. That's really important. Do not fear of missing out, FOMO, as you will discover that you will buy at leaks and sell at peaks. In other words, that's how it feels. Also, expect pullbacks of 30 to 40% often and treat them as normal. You buy more things when you have cash on hand. For this reason, you should also be careful not to lose your keys if you get hacked. In that case, put them somewhere on a ledger. Make sure you keep it cold. Those little things will keep you from losing your coupons. In a rising market, you might be buying too much, selling out, or FOMOing out of fear. Your tokens will be taken away if you do that or don't do that. Once more, don't forget the basics. Just hold on from here. It will be here in 5 years and it will be here in 10 years. And most people don't think that's possible, but this is the gift that keeps on giving, just like NASDAQ. Okay, fine. Things will be more digital tomorrow than they are now. It's a simple truth. That's why we'll buy stocks over time. Everyone leaves. That's true, but they crashed in 2008. Okay, so there was a huge bubble in tech stocks back then. If you bought something during the crash, like an Amazon, Google, or app, it did amazingly well. You have to pay it back over a year or two. It's just what people are afraid of from the past. We know, though, that this tech acceptance curve won't end. In fact, it's getting worse. So the chances are that even if there is a bear market like the one we had in 2022, it will only last for 9 months and then hit bottom.